So what's up, welcome to another build guide. So if you are looking for a different archer build, I'll say different because most people are obviously playing Deadeye, maybe Assassin, Ice Shot, Lightning Arrow, those kind of arrow builds. Maybe you are looking for a physical build that is actually a non-meta build these days. There are only 3 people on the leaderboard, including me. So I just wanted to test something different. So this is a physical Impale build. I am using Tornado Shot for clear, but maybe you already know Tornado Shot got nerfed a couple of leagues ago, so it is in a worse spot right now. So clear speed won't be as good as a Lightning Arrow, unfortunately, but once you are geared enough, it is obviously fine. If you are looking for maybe something new, it's a build for you. So for single target, we are using Barrage, obviously, with point blanks. I am also using a Chinsol bow. It is very cheap these days, no one plays with it. So even a 6-link is under an Exile. It also provides more damage at close range. So yeah, this is a close range physical Impale bow build. The character we are using is a duelist champion because he has good synergy with Impale and physical stuff. And also we can access Fortify, which you cannot do on any other kind of character. So this is a tanky build. I'm also using some life on hit, rings, and the Watcher's Eye, which is actually very cheap. So you can just face tank most of the stuff in the game, unless you get one shot from a very big ability or something like that. But yeah, if you are looking for a tanky new, I will say new because again no one plays this archer build, this is for you. Obviously, because this is a bow build, you need some investment. Do not try this with maybe 10 Exile or something like that. Make sure you farm some decent currency. Make sure you have another character that you can farm this currency on. So yeah, I will just leave you with the clips now, and if you are interested, I will just explain everything as usual. Alright, I am back. Now let's just start with the items as usual. So first of all, bow, chainsaw, because this is already a physical bow with decent attack speed and high physical roll. It is also very cheap because no one plays these kind of archer builds these days. And it also has 50% more damage with arrows hit at close range, which also provides a lot of boss DPS. Since we are also using a point blank, which is the obvious way to get some boss DPS, because on a character that is not a Deadeye, you don't have any other option, unfortunately, because on Deadeye you can also get Far Shot, which is a range build, but you cannot do this as a duelist. That's why you have to get point blank, and combining it with Chainsaw's more damage at close range, you can achieve insane boss DPS. So yeah, this is your bow. If you want to invest fully in this build, maybe you can get a very expensive 2 additional arrow, maybe, I don't know, 500 physical DPS. I'm not really sure because I haven't bought anything like that ever, because they are very expensive. So yeah, maybe you can check those if you have the currency, but Chainsaw will just carry you all the way. Quiver, because this is a barrage build, obviously you need additional arrows. So that's why number 1 stat is bow attacks fire and additional arrow. Obviously very high life roll is good, at least maybe 60, 70 life. Crit multiplier, then if you can still fit in more stats, crit chance, physical damage maybe to attacks. If you are missing a resist, maybe that. So yeah, for the base type, you can get broadhead arrow quiver for physical damage or spike points for crit chance, but because Deadeye builds or any other kind of archer builds, elemental builds, let's say, they have to use spike point arrow because that is best in slot for those builds. Because of that, spike point quivers are very expensive. That's why I picked broadhead arrow quiver, because this is a physical build. So if you want something for cheaper, something to get the job done, make sure you get a broadhead arrow quiver for cheaper. Helmet. So first of all, the enchant. Actually, for single target, you can get Barrage fires additional projectile, which provides a couple of million DPS. Right now, my character has more than 20 million burst DPS. If I get that, it will be something like 25 million maybe. But because we are using Tornado Shot, that's why I wanted to boost the clear speed, because Tornado Shot isn't in a very good spot these days after the nerfs a couple of leagues ago. So that's why Tornado Shot fires an additional secondary projectile is very important to boost your clear speed. And after that, make sure you check the item level first, because you want to use Crusader Orb, and then try to craft effect of Fortify to be tankier. So make sure you check the PoE database and make sure you get the required item level for that Fortify effect. And after that, just use Alteration Orbs, get that Fortify effect, and then Regal Orb, those kind of stuff. And multi-mode if you want, just get some life, maybe resist, and that's it. If you want to spend more, if you want to get also some DPS, you can also use Awakener Orb on a nearby enemies, take 9% increase physical damage, Elder Base Helmet, and combine Fortify effect with that to get a helmet with both effects. So that way you can also get some insane DPS. But this is more than enough. So yeah, if you just want to invest more, you can do that. Chest, I will mention 2 chest options, because this is not a low budget build. Or make sure you farm some currency, as I said at the start. So first of all, the, let's say, medium budget option, Explode is the obvious choice, because we want something to boost our clear speed, because on a physical build you cannot use something like Herald of Ice maybe, so you need some stuff to boost your clear speed. So Explode plus something else for DPS, you can get additional curse or attack save crit chance, and that's it. Only 2 modes and maybe life resist. So this is your medium budget chest, let's say. If you want to invest more, and this is your last chance to get something like this, because Harvest is getting nerfed in 3.14, so this is something that you can invest in if you want more DPS. So again, Explode and crit or curse, whatever, and then the rest, the missing stat, and finally a power charge on crit to generate 3 power charges, which gives a lot of crit chance. because Harvest is getting nerfed in 3.14, this chest will be impossible to get, and maybe it will be a mirror tier chest. So yeah, make sure you get one of these if you want to play with those, because this is your last chance to get something like this. So glows. So first of all, if your chest doesn't have additional curse, you have to play with one curse. Because I have two curses, my gloves and my ring. Not ring, yeah, I will also cast manually as sniper mark. Yeah. So yeah, I am playing with two curses. If you want to play with one curse, if you have a maybe worse chest, so make sure you figure that curse limit on your own, alright? Because I have two curses. One of my curses is vulnerability. It is on my glove because this glove is very easy to get, is cheap, let's say. So vulnerability. The next stat is +1 socketed gems, because I wanted to make my mana reservation, easier, because my buff setup is in this gloves actually. Because with +1 gems, my enlighten is actually level 5. It is normally 4, but it is now level 5. Plus my also buffs are getting +1, maybe that will do some work. So yeah, if you want to fit in more stuff, attack speed maybe, or attack crit chance, the other two level of socket gems, they are useless actually, do not search for those. So just make sure you get vulnerability and +1 gems at least. Yeah, you can also play with Tomb Fist if you want. If you want to play with one curse, you can go maybe use a Tomb Fist, because if you want to get a Tomb Fist with also vulnerability, maybe they are very, very expensive. Because Tomb Fist also provides Intimidate, which gives 10% more damage, which is very good. So yeah, depending on your curse limit or depending on your budget, you can get one of these below. Boots, one of the most expensive pieces. Obvious choices: Tailwind on a Hunter base, Elusive on a Redeemer base, and combine the both. I usually buy these from someone else because it is hard to get both movement speed and life on these kind of boots if you try it yourself. That's why I just pay and buy from someone else. You can skip Elusive if you want, just get Tailwind for DPS because Elusive gives only dodge and some movement speed. But if you want to be tankier, you have to get both. And Tailwind gives action speed, obviously, which means attack speed and movement speed for this build. My boots actually has a wrong enchant because I am also using this on other characters. Because champion is stun immune, if you want to do some Uber Labyrinths, you can pick maybe regenerate life if you got hit for more life regen, or attack speed if you have killed recently, or maybe movement speed enchant. So yeah, make sure you get one of those if you want to do some labyrinth. Amulet. So this is something that I craft all the time because these kind of amulets are very expensive if you want to buy from someone else, because this kind of amulet has very high tiers DPS stats right now. But if you want to get maybe a lower crit multiplier or lower physical damage to attacks, it is fine. You can just buy something with probably 3 Exalt, maybe 4 Exalt. But if you want to search for these stuff, it will be at least 10 or 15 Exalt, which is actually, if you want to craft this on your own, it is way, way, way cheaper. So you make sure you just buy a fractured crit multiplier or physical damage to attacks. Just get one of those, there will be pictures on the screen. And use an essence. Crit multiplier, if you want to get crit multiplier, Scorn essence. If you want to get physical, on Pants. And just spam until you get something decent. If you want to pay for harvest craft, you can maybe fix your amulet that, but this way it will cost you way less, so you don't have to pay 10 exalt or maybe 15 exalt to someone else. So for the base type, I picked Dex and Intelligence, because Shin Soul requires a lot of dexterity, and also Intelligence is for some support gems here. And finally I anointed Discipline and Training for some life. If you think your life is fine, just go and anoint the DPS. Because I wanted to be tankier, I just anointed life. So rings. So first of all, because I stacked some life gain for each enemy hit by your attacks, I picked these kind of rings. But if you want to search these on steel rings, maybe it will be a little hard to buy them. I actually bought these for very cheap, but there aren't that much results on the market if you search for steel rings, but obviously steel rings are the best for DPS. So maybe you can skip life gained on hits on one ring if you struggle getting maybe resist, those kind of stuff. But the more you have these stats, life gain for each enemy hit, the more recover you will have while face tanking a boss. So yeah, I advise you to get at least one ring like this, but maybe you can also skip steel rings and get something else, because there will be a lot more results. So life gain for each enemy hit if you can, physical damage to attacks. If you can also do essence crafts on a maybe, I don't know, fracture base, but no, you cannot do fracture base, I'm sorry, because it is an includes item. That life gain for enemy attack whatever is elder mode, yeah. So yeah, you cannot get any fractured. So yeah, you have to use maybe some fossils, life fossil, maybe check fossil, so you can get life gain for each enemy plus physical. So yeah, or just buy it from someone else, because again these are actually very cheap if you just search them on other bases like Topaz ring, Sapphire ring, those kind of stuff. Resist, and on 2 of your jewelries, make sure you get at least on 2. You need to have an open prefix, so you can craft non-channeling skills have -9 mana cost. Because Tornado Shot consumes a lot of mana, this is actually a must in my opinion, or you have to maybe not level your precision that much. Because yes, you need some decent mana pool and mana reduction so you don't run out of mana. So I only used 2 of these -9 mana costs, and that was enough for me. Belt, Rice Lata Coil or whatever. Yeah, another best in slot for these kind of physical builds. If you really struggle on maybe resist, you can also use a Stygian Wise if you want, but this provides more DPS. So just get the more maximum, the best, best rolls possible, and the less minimum, the worst rolls possible, because that reduces our DPS actually, but the other more stuff is actually providing DPS. So in the end, you are gonna deal more high rolls, which means more DPS. And also it provides life and some physical damage to attack, so very good belt overall. And make sure you also use catalysts to boost that physical attack damage even more. So yeah, that was it about gear. In this part we are gonna check path of building. I will show you what jewels I am using, and finally we will check the gems. So yeah. So first of all, because we are playing duelist, we are at the bottom of the tree, so it is hard to get to these areas, which also provides some crit chance, life, maybe crit multiplier here. So yeah, it is hard to go to these side, That's why I am using cluster jewels to get some insane physical damage and those kind of stuff. So yeah, this is a cluster build. If you are experienced player, you can maybe check the tree, maybe get these parts. I'm not sure. So maybe you can do something without clusters. But these are actually not that expensive. The medium clusters are less than an Exile each. So yeah, you should probably play with clusters in the end. So let's just start with the clusters, because we already talked about those. So on one of your, let's just talk about that first. Yeah, this one. So one of your clusters should provide some leech. So where are those? So leech life, so drive the destruction or feed the fury, but feed the fury is very expensive. That's why I picked drive the destruction. So physical, not physical, attack damage, leech as life. We are actually using Blood Rage, which provides leech, but if you forgot to press that on a boss, maybe you won't have any life leech. That's why you have to get one of these nodes or feed the fury again. That's also very good. And the other one is Fuel the Fight for mana leech. This also provides some damage while leeching, so that also works most of the times. And finally I picked Martial Prowess. You can get any other kind of thing here. I believe there is also Smite the Weak for some damage against maim targets. We are also maiming thanks to Flesh and Stone, so you can also get that. So yeah, in the end you just need a life leech and mana leech on one of your clusters. I picked attack damage base. There are also bow clusters, you can also check those. So yeah, don't go and buy maybe the 200 or whatever, so don't get the base type wrong. make sure it has some stuff for bow attack damage, bow damage, those kind of stuff. So yeah, so one cluster is for leech, the other one is just for TPS. That is a physical damage large cluster. By the way, large clusters are obviously 8 points. I do not get anything more than 8 because they are wrong. Iron Breaker, damage, overwhelm. Force multiplier for some double damage, so it is a little RNG based bonus DPS, which is very good. And finally, master the fundamentals for DPS and also resistances, which is very important. These are actually very cheap, so I advise you to get a similar one, but if you know anything better, maybe just go for it. So medium jewels, I am only using 2, so the other large jewel only has some normal jewels in that, so we are gonna check those also. So medium jewels are very cheap. Projectile damage base 4 or 5 points, do not get 6. 6 is wrong, alright? 4 or 5, because we are not getting this, 5 doesn't matter. Repeater, proj damage, attack speed, this provides a lot of DPS as you can see. Streamlined, proj damage, proj speed. So this also boosts our clear speed because 30% proj speed here, 30% here, 60% proj speed, a lot of proj speed, so faster clear speed. I use 2 petals to boost my HP. If you need intelligence or resistance, make sure you put some of those in those petals. I'm only using 2 points petals, but if you struggle with maybe keeping your resist, you can pick 3 points, so you will have one more small notable, so maybe you can keep your resist that way. So let's talk about the other jewels. So let's just let me just show you the rare jewels, but I only use one, I believe, yeah, and that is here. Bow damage, life, proj damage, resist. If you want to get crit multiplier, that is way more expensive. This is something like less than an Exile, but if you want to combine these stuff with maybe one crit multiplier, because bow only can get a global crit multiplier on jewels, there are no such thing as bow crit multiplier, unfortunately, which is very rare. So yeah, if you want to put crit multiplier plus bow damage, life, those kind of stuff, they are starting to get very expensive. That's why I haven't picked any crit multiplier, but crit multiplier is actually way more DPS. But if you want something cheaper, you can get something like this. You can also get maybe bow attack speed or global damage, global physical damage, that also works. So make sure you put life and 2 damage stats, alright? We are only using one rare jewel, so it will be easy to get only one. So Watcher's Eye, because this is actually very cheap, I picked double Watcher's Eye, which is a couple of exiles only. So the important thing is vitality, life gain for each enemy hit, so that's how we can have a better healing, combining it with these kind of rings. We have a lot of life gain for each enemy hit. So yeah, lots of burst healing, combining also that with leech, yeah. And something else, we are using Tride and Precision as auras, so you can get either one of those modes. I will just list everything on the screen, so just check that. So pride damage, attack damage, double damage, precision attack speed, crit multiplier, or attack damage. So make sure you combine it, get one of these plus that vitality, and that's it. One thread of hope. This is not important. I will say not. Yeah, so you don't need this to play the build. Alright, this is for some extra DPS and mitigation actually, because the only things that I picked are Disciple of the Slaughter for minimum friends charges, which is also good for both DPS, 4% more damage, and one additional minimum endurance charge. Also 8% chance to gain endurance charge on kill, so this works while mapping obviously, so I can generate 3 endurance charges while mapping to make my character even tankier. So that's the main reason I picked this. Also this provides +1, that means a lot of DPS, as you can see, more than 1 million, because friends charges are simply broken, provides a lot of DPS. So if you are maybe struggling on resist, because Thread of Hope actually reduces your resist, maybe you can skip this and get something else, maybe a normal jewel. But if you want to be tankier while mapping, thanks to entrance charges and also some DPS, this is a good jewel. Little Pride with Ekoya Commander to get Chain Breaker. Normally this isn't Chain Breaker, so you need this exact jewel. The number doesn't matter if you are a new player. Yeah, that's 16,000 whatever, doesn't matter, just type Little Pride, type Ekoya, and that's it. So you can get Chain Breaker. Before a big boss fight, make sure you wait a little without doing anything outside the boss arena maybe. Make sure you stack your 50 rage ready, and after you enter the boss, pop all your flasks, press Berserk, so you can get 6 million DPS, bonus DPS. What else? Finally, Intuitive Leap, Heartseeker, Crit Multiplier, Equity for some attack speed and accuracy, and life. If you haven't kept your resist, you can also get this, and that's it. Let's check the flasks. So because this is an archer build, you have to move around all the time. Obviously we need a Quicksilver flask, especially while doing mapping. But at a very big boss, like a Conqueror, Guardian, Cirrus, those kind of fights, you absolutely do not need this. That's why I actually use a Battle Fate instead. So if you have the money, since this is also not a low budget build, obviously you should just get this one, Battle Fate, and this is also very cheap these days thanks to the new Atlas 3, those kind of stuff. So yeah, or you can replace this with Life Flask, but maybe you will need that Life Flask, so just replace Quicksilver with Battle Fate and use a Life Flask instead, those kind of stuff. But this is only for bossing, so you don't need Battle Fate at maps because that is most of the time useless. Cinder Swallow Urn for Onslaught, recover life and mana when you kill an enemy, so this is very good for recover in maps. Also Onslaught gives DPS because it provides attack speed, and it also gives movement speed. If you have the budget, get one with crit strike chance during Flask effect crafts. That is how you can get more DPS. Or if you want something cheaper, if you don't have the budget, get something with regenerate life, that is also good. And finally, because this flask also has one more stuff, enemies ignited by you during flask effect take 10% increased damage. This actually doesn't work in this build because we are playing a physical build which uses brutality support. That's why support skills deal no elemental damage, so we cannot actually ignite, so that part is actually useless. But still, without that, we get lots of other bonuses, so this is a very good flask. Diamond Flask, so your crits get calculated twice. Make sure you put Curse or Freeze immunity. The other immunity is on my Quicksilver Flask. This is actually wrong. It should be Freeze immune. Or you can put Curse here and Freeze here. So yeah, just figure that on your own. Try to craft one of those, on each flask. Finally, Dying Sun, another obvious best in slot flask. 2 additional projectiles, so that means more clear speed for our tornado shot, more single target DPS for our barrage. So this flask alone provides millions of DPS, so a lot of DPS. So again, if you missed the point maybe, while mapping, this is your flask combination plus a life flask. I forgot to add that. That will be in the final battle building, obviously. A life flask. It can be eternal life flask with bleed immunity, or a divine flask with instant recovery plus bleed immunity. If you are immune to corrupted blood, which I am not, you can just put that on your jewel, on your, what is this, Radiant jewel maybe, because it is hard to get a corrupted blood large cluster, for example, it is impossible. So yeah, just put a corrupt blood immunity on maybe this jewel, and you can use Blood of the Curry unique flask if you want, because you are already bleed immune. Where's that? Yeah, this one. Because this heals better in my opinion, and it also recovers you to full health at the end of flask effect. So yeah, if you are corrupt blood immune, you can also use this. But at a very big boss, I just take out Quicksilver probably and use a Battle Fate instead to kill the boss faster. So let's check the gems. Tornado shot for clear. It can be in your weapon or body armor, it doesn't matter. You just need 2 separate 6 links. So Tornado Shot, Brutality, because this is a physical build. If you have the money, Awakened. I'm actually not using Awakened, this is wrong, so just fix that real quick. Because I was like, maybe I will buy it, but no, I didn't. So yeah, this is my Brutality. What's that? Yeah, this is my Brutality. So Vicious Projectiles, I'm gonna talk about this in a second. So for clear speed you need Chain, and because Tornado Shot isn't that crazy these days, I bought Awakened. So yeah, if you don't have insane budget, this build is not actually very expensive, you know, it is somewhere between. You can maybe just start playing with a normal Chain, and if you like the build, just save for this. Because of the new Atlas passives, those kind of stuffs, actually this gem is way cheaper compared to previous leagues. So yeah, that's why I picked one. Impale, obviously, Impale build, physical build. GMP to boost the clear speed. So the thing about GMP, I actually forgot it. So let's check the Tornado Shot. So this is my Tornado Shot right now, 49 mana cost. Actually it is 41, I probably forgot to update my amulet. Not 41, 40, yeah. Because I have two separate -9s. Yeah, this one is right. So yeah, this is wrong because I used this on my Cyclone. So yeah, let's also fix this real quick. Mana cost. So yeah, this is how my gear is right now. So with 40 mana cost, it is still a lot, so you have to reduce your maybe precisions level. Mine is maybe 15 or 16, whatever. I will just upload paste Battlebuilding again because maybe some things are not right now. So yeah, my hit isn't actually capped. So maybe if you want to cap that hit, if you are at a similar scenario like I am, you know, you can just get Animalus GMP. Actually, I completely forgot this. This actually reduces your mana a lot. As you can see, 29. Maybe you can, if you can get triple mana cost jewelry, maybe you can also put this here. So it will be 20 mana, which is very nice. So yeah, make sure you get Animalus. Don't be like me, you know, I forgot that. That's why I'm playing with 40 mana cost. So yeah, Animalus GMP is nice. Finally, Mirage Archer or Vicious Projectiles. So Vicious Projectiles provides more DPS, but since this is a map clear skill, I picked Mirage Archer. If you for some reason do not like Mirage Archers, maybe you can get Vicious Projectiles. So one thing about Mirage Archer, and that is maybe a little important, but not for me, but maybe you don't like it. If Mirage Archer kills an enemy, which it will because this shoots insane all the time while mapping, you know. If it kills something, your chest explode doesn't work. So if you want to explode everything, maybe yeah, you know, you have some problems, you know. You can play without this and play like this, but I always play with Mirage Archer on my Archer builds because that is very important in my opinion while mapping. Makes a huge difference. So Barrage setup. So first of all, Divergent Barrage is better and it is cheap, so try to get this because attack speed is more important compared to Barrage damage. Again, Vicious Projectile, but this is a must on this, so for more damage. Awakened if you have the money. Brutality, physical damage, again Awakened if you have the money. Mayhem, physical damage. Quality matters, so I picked 22. Because 23 doesn't do anything, so this was cheaper actually. Where's that? Barrage. Where's that? So yeah, as you can see, it stops at 22 actually. 23 does nothing. So if you can get this one maybe for cheaper, just go and buy it. So this is actually very cheap, Mayhem, because most people don't even use this in their builds. Impale again, if you have the money, 21, that is obviously more DPS. So finally, so you have to choose here. So if you could, you know, get some intelligence from your gear, maybe from your petals, if you have an amulet similar to mine, which provides a lot of intelligence, or you can also get intelligence on rings, which I don't have actually. So yeah, if you can get that intelligence, actually you need 111. So that's why I have 18 level crit damage on me. But even with this 18 level, because it is not 20, alright, it actually is. Let's check the DPS. you know, way better compared to slower projectiles. That's why I played with this crit damage gem. But if you don't have this much intelligence, you can just play with slower projectiles, which is almost the same DPS. Because I hate, you know, that slow stuff. Because this project gem actually provides 30% less push speed. But since we are attacking from, you know, melee range, it doesn't really matter. But I actually don't like this, alright. That is my problem actually. That's why I, you know, get some intelligence and play with crit damage. So yeah, figure that intelligence or just play with slower projectiles, alright? These two gems will be in the path of building, so pick whatever you want as your 6th link. Buffs, not these, where are those? Yeah, let's talk about the buffs first. These are in your glows, because again, if you can get a +1 gems glows, your enlightenment will be level 5, as you can see, 4 + 1 it says. So even more reservation that you can do on your precision maybe. Precision, crit chance accuracy, pride, more physical damage, flesh and stone, on sand stance while mapping, so it provides mitigation against range attacks, also blinds nearby targets. But while you are fighting a boss, make sure you press it, make sure it is on your skill bar, because you have to switch that to blood stance on a big boss. As you can see, provides 2 million DPS on a blood stand, so make sure you press that whenever you are fighting a boss. So other buffs, helmet, this doesn't have to be in your helmet, just figure it on your own, you know, because these have to be in glows for that +1, but the other gem setups can be anywhere, you know. Red banner, because we are playing champion, it is actually free thanks to inspirational. So a free buff which provides impale chance and effect. So it provides a lot of DPS. Enhance to even boost the quality, you know, more effect of aura, and also I am also boosting the other gems qualities, because these are all, you know, good ways to get DPS. Blood Rage provides attack speed, which also provides a lot of DPS. So enhance also boosts that attack speed a little. And finally, this is my second curse. I have to cast this manually, because there are no such thing as sniper mark, curse, rings, those kind of stuff. So on a projectile build, this is the best curse you can get. So combining it with +1 curse, I also have vulnerability on my gloves. You can actually get vulnerability on a ring if you want. So yeah, if you have 2 curses thanks to a chest like this, or maybe you can anoint Whispers of Doom if you really want to play with 2 curses, or maybe you have a burst chest, alright? You can also get that, but you will lose a little health probably, because I am using discipline and training. So yeah, if you have 2 curses, also Sniper's Mark, which provides a lot of DPS, but you have to cast this manually. This also has some proj damage, so that's why, you know, on the quality. That's why Enhance also boosts that. So in the end, this is actually level 3 Enhance. I didn't get 4 because it is like 3 Exiled. I can get it, but I didn't, you know. Because on my builds, I don't invest fully. Sometimes I don't want to make the build more expensive, so you can just finish the rest if you want. So Enhance provides, you know, almost a million DPS thanks to these other 3 gems. If you get level 4, as you can see, 400k additional DPS, it is actually good. So you can get at 4 level if you want. Dash, mobile skill, second wind to reduce the, you know, cooldown, blah blah blah. And finally, I already explained Berserk. It is a cooldown that you can press on bosses, which provides insane DPS. And make sure you have a level 1 vitality to, you know, make that Watcher's Eye work. Only level 1 is enough. And that's it. So finally, Pantheons. I use Arakali on most of my, you know, armor-based non-shock immune builds, maybe champions, maybe slayers, those kind of builds, because this also there's that chaos resist against over time, which is also very good, because it is very hard to keep your chaos resist. Also reduce effect of shock, reduce shock duration, that is very important. That's why I pick this most of the times on builds like these. But you can also get Solaris or Lunaris, just pick whatever. This is actually also very good for range builds, dodge attack spells, avoid projectiles, move speed, each enemy, blah blah blah. So yeah, just pick whatever you want, but Arakali was my choice. Miner, Pantheon, Aberrat, if you know me, I use this all the time. Unaffected by Burning Ground, reduce ignite duration. But where is that? This is also good. 6% increased movement speed if you haven't been hit recently. This is good for archer builds. And finally, Ralakesh. Reduce physical damage over time while moving. So this reduces the degeneration from that blood rage actually. So this is good. Also the upgrade provides cannot be blinded, which is very important. Maybe because some elite monsters actually blind you. So that happens. And also you cannot be maimed, which means you cannot be slowed from that maim. So yeah, this is also very good. Just pick whatever you want. But again, Aberrat is what I use most of the times. So that was it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to join my Discord to chat with me and other players. Because also whenever I publish a build before publishing it, I sometimes give some item ideas to people so you don't get scammed after the market changes, because some of my videos get a couple of thousand views and some prices changes. So make sure you're on my Discord. I see no reason why not to just mute the channel and check whenever you want. So yeah, joining my Discord is actually very important, because if I get more popular, I will start influencing the market even more. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you later.